What's up, guys? On this week's show,
top 5 horror films,
games versus porn,
and we win the Mega Millions?
plus
Dumb shit of the week.
All that and more on this episode
Of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OGLFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared. And with me is my co-host, DJ Millie Mill.
Hey.
We have our first ever, because we're creeping up on a year of the show. So This will be our very first Halloween spooktacular.
I like it.
Whatever you want to call it.
Sure,
episode.
we'll go with that.
And so we wanted to do something different for the Halloween episode. So we got some goody stuff here for you. We're almost at the end of the month, so if you guys haven't been following all the horror thing, we put out 2 bonus episodes on our show, and we did 2 guest spots on Movie Geek and Proud and with Work Life and Balance podcast. So make sure you check those out as well. What we did on our show, we reviewed Jason X and
Evil Dead 2.
Yep, Evil Dead 2, yep. And then on Movie Geek and Proud, we did Friday the 13th Part 7. And on Work Life and Balance podcast, we also did The Thing, which I had never seen before, which is actually a really good movie. But anyway.
It's classic.
Yeah. I was going to say, it was funny because I was saying when we did it that it's difficult for me to go back and watch like old school movies because, you know, they're dated and I have my contemporary modern sensibilities about movies and shit. Yeah, I guess.
We're spoiled on movies nowadays.
Sure, yeah, because there's so much stuff that comes out. It's really hard for me to go back and watch something older, but it was actually very good. Evil Dead 2, it was okay. It was stupid fun, but look, I personally don't understand the love for it.
I want to say it kind of had the same feel as Sharknado did.
Yeah, that's probably a good comparison.
Like,
Sharknado.
That was my thought process through the whole thing. I was like, okay, this is a gorier version of Sharknado minus the sharks.
Yeah, and almost more stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry,
almost.
shots fired.
Hey, it's whatever. We made it through. Can you believe that it's almost November?
I know. It's almost Christmas.
I know.
It's almost 2019.
I know. It's crazy.
Where did the year go? I found this just randomly, just looking up stuff that had happened this week. And apparently this has been in the works for a while. But this is the first time I had heard about it. They are apparently making a series about Alfred.
Okay.
Batman's butler.
Yeah,
Alfred.
I know who Alfred is.
Alfred Pennyworth.
I know who Alfred is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about this. Like, what more do we need to know about Alfred? I mean, we've got 7 movies.
Well, I mean, in the comics, they do flesh him out a bit more. I think he may even have a little spin-off comic about him as well.
I think he does.
But I'm just like, who is asking for the... Okay.
Seriously, though, we have him in 7 different movies.
Yeah.
Well, live-action movies.
Sure. I mean, you know, you have the animated series.
Nope, 8
and all that
because
stuff.
he's in BVS.
Yeah, that is true.
So
he's in Justice League, too.
Oh,
so 9.
Also 9. We have 9 on-screen versions of Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there's a very lengthy piece of him on Gotham.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so he's on film, and he's on TV, and he's been in the comics, and he's been in the cartoons. I mean, what else do we need to know about Alfred?
Oh, the Secret Life of Alfred Pennyworth. That's what they should totally call it that, too. But, okay, so I'm getting this from superherohype.com. It says, Epix is moving forward the Batman prequel series Pennyworth, which is what it's going to be called, apparently. Not The Secret Life of Alfred Pennyworth, but apparently just Pennyworth.
Okay.
Which will start production soon. Comic Book Resources reports that Paloma Faith has been cast as the main villain of the series. Pennyworth will tell the story of Alfred's new life. He will leave the SAS, Special Air Service, and enter the world of private security. His first client will be Thomas Wayne, not yet the father of Bruce. The 10-episode season will tell Alfred's story and follow his battles against Bet Sykes in 1960s London. Yeah. Jack Bannon was previously announced as Alfred, and Ben Aldridge is co-starring as Thomas Wayne.
So Alfred's got his own villains?
Hey, if you're going to tell a story, he's got to have his own antagonist. So okay.
I guess. But...
Flat out, I'm going to say right now, I blame Gotham for this shit. I blame Gotham for this shit.
Shots fired. Dang.
Because it's because the reason I say I blame Gotham is because these shows would not exist if it wasn't for the success of Gotham. I mean, because let's be serious.
I mean, can we really blame Gotham, though? Shouldn't we be blaming Arrow?
No, because Batman's not even in Arrow. I mean, at least Arrow is actually about a superhero.
True.
You know,
true.
I'll take that over.
True. Much as I love Gotham,
Mm-hmm.
I have issues with it. I love it. And I really need to see the last season. I really need to find it on maybe Netflix or something when it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe watch it on the Fox app because I haven't seen the last season. But, I mean, I do have issues with Gotham.
Okay, look, this is my issue. I'm not just like solely against like hearing or seeing, I guess, a series about a spinoff character from like the main Bat family, right?
Sure.
But that being said, Alfred, and it's like they finna try and like Netflix Daredevil this shit, and I'm just like, don't, oh god,
don't do that.
Look, I mean, I'm sure that there are some people that are hyped for this, but I don't. Look, if I know Alfred has a history of being a spy and all that good stuff, but who gives a shit?
Don't we already have one of those? His name is James Bond.
Look, man,
I'm just saying.
Anything that they can do to try and relate some shit to Batman, because Batman is always going to be popular to some degree or another. So
I mean,
people are always going to have an interest in Batman. But
I say as I'm sitting here dressed as Poison Ivy.
Yeah. And for those that didn't know, we dressed up for this special Halloween episode. I am a poor man's Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, and DJ Melly Mel is Poison Ivy. And so, which, if you follow us on Instagram, you'll see pictures of our Halloween costumes as well. But, I'm just like, I'm at this point, I'm like, if you're gonna make a show about Batman, then make a goddamn show about Batman. Like, stop doing all this Batwoman and Gotham and all this other shit. It's like, just make a Batman show and just be done with it. Like, he's not working out in this whole DCEU shit y'all got going on. I mean, Ben Affleck, bless his heart, he's trying, but this shit ain't going well for him. So it's just like, just make a Batman show. Just do it. No one will be mad. You have a Flash show, and you're trying to make Flash movies, so why not just do it with Batman? Batman has low budget enough, powers, or he has no powers, but you could make a Batman show and it not feel cheap because he doesn't have powers. Most of his villains don't have powers. You can make Arrow, you can make Daredevil. Why not make a Batman show?
True.
I don't know.
I don't think any of Batman's villains have powers.
Clayface.
Oh, yeah.
Clayface. Poison Ivy. Come on now. What do you... Yeah.
Ivy doesn't really have powers.
Does she, though?
I wouldn't say powers.
I would think
I don't
so.
know.
Yeah. If you can, make plants kill people, I would say that that's a power.
Some people could just say science. I mean...
yeah, but she controls them with her mind and shit.
That's true.
Yeah. But anyway.
I never thought about it like that.
I didn't want to spend too much time on this. I just thought that it was just interesting that they were doing this. I'm like, really? Y'all are just really milking this Batman shit for everything
they're really
worth.
Reaching for a lot of things.
Y'all doing everything but making a goddamn Batman
Isn't
show.
it coming out the same... Does it have a release date?
I didn't see one, no.
Okay. I was going to say, because they got the Harley Quinn coming out, and then they've got
But this is going to be actually a live-action show. It ain't going to be like a cartoon like the Harley Quinn
but
shit.
still...
And it's not going to be on the DC streaming service either. It's going to be on
probably
Epix.
on Fox.
Yeah, it's Epix.
Close enough.
Yeah. But I bet $10 right now that Bruce and or Thomas Wayne will show up in this show as some kind of Batman-esque
Oh, I'm sure.
thing. Maybe not Bruce, more so Thomas, but I promise you, Bruce Wayne will be in this in some form or another.
Probably so.
He will be. Like Martha will be pregnant with Bruce or something. He's gonna pop up. Just like Gotham isn't even supposed to be about Batman, but they found a way to shoehorn Bruce in there. And I'm just like, you got the Joker running around killing people and doing all this shit, and he's not even fucking Batman yet. I'm like, it bothers me to no end. You don't understand. I'm like, the Joker would not exist without Batman, and Batman's like 17 or some such shit. Who cares? Anyway,
moving on.
Moving on.
That was horrible.
Terrible.
Horrible. That's why I leave the voice animation up to you.
Oh, yeah, because mine are so much better.
Hey, you got the mouse, okay?
Yeah, I got that. Okay, so this next one, this one's kind of a doozy. Yeah. If you heard the title, you're probably wondering, like, what is this games versus porn thing? Well, let me explain. I'm getting this from Refinery29.com. According to data collected and shared with Refinery29 from Pornhub and YouPorn, this happens in varying degrees when a highly anticipated game comes out. Okay. When Fallout 4 came out in 2015. They saw a 10% decrease in their site traffic. Also, within a few hours of its release, about how long it takes for a very large file game to download. YouPorn saw a similar decrease of 9% when Overwatch League, the first global online sports league to exist, was released. The phenomenon only lasts a few hours when the game is first released, before site traffic returns to normal levels. When you've been looking forward to a game for months, little else can tear you away, at least for a little while. Occasionally, as was the case with Fallout 4, there might even be a surge in traffic by the end of the day. Extreme drops in porn viewership is not exclusive to video game releases. YouPorn saw a 15% decrease in site traffic during Apple's September product rollout. Based on these findings, porn streaming sites can expect a very uneventful Friday. It's because they were talking about this like right before Red Dead Redemption 2 came out.
Oh, okay.
And the whole concept is fascinating to me. Like it is the concept that the same demographic that is like hardcore into games are also hardcore into porn. I mean, I guess it shouldn't be surprising because people are going to use that stereotype like, oh, these old neckbeard dudes in their basement jerking off and playing Fallout, which I game not frequently, but I try to get it in when I can.
Hey, I mean, it kind of is one of our staples.
Sure, but I mean, it is goddamn fascinating to me to think that people have to make a choice between like, okay, so what am I going to do? Am I going to play this game or am I going to masturbate? Because I need both hands to play the game, so I can't do both. At least not simultaneously.
Hey, you just got to get creative because...
yeah. Well,
if I'm sitting there gaming, I mean...
Yeah,
I can make it work.
Yeah, but you have like toys and shit because you're a woman. I'm like, guys can
have toys?
They do have that dick-sucking robot.
Yeah?
That I saw a while back. So that is the thing. I think I showed you that.
Yeah, the $4,000 little kid-looking Chinese robot. Yeah.
Hey, man, look, you gotta make it do what it do.
Hey, they got pocket pussies for $15.99 down at Lover's Lane, so I'm sure that you can... I don't actually know what the price of a pocket pussy is because I don't buy them, but...
That sounds about accurate.
Yeah,
I'd pay $16 for one of those. Yeah,
you can find
for
them
a fleshlight.
I would say you can find them online for about that.
I'm not kidding though when I say that this is like goddamn fascinating. I would watch a Netflix documentary on this like subject, like no bullshit. Like I could see it right now. It'd be like making a masturbator. Like I would totally watch that shit in a heartbeat.
Well, you know that people most often masturbate not when they're aroused, but when they're bored.
Yeah, I could see that. It's like, I got some time.
When I was in my human sexuality class, that was one of the statistics that they threw out, is that people masturbate more when they're bored than when they're actually horny. And I think that's weird. I don't...
Well, I mean...
I don't know. I've never been sitting around and just be like, I'm bored. Let me just find a video and rub one out here. Like, is that a thing? Or is it more
sure.
of a guy thing? Or
Sure, probably. I mean, I'm confused though, and like kind of torn about how I feel about it, because I figure you would have to be horny to some degree. It's like, yeah, you might do it because you're bored, but it's like, if you're not horny, I mean, are you even going to get stimulation and satisfaction the same way out of it? It's like, I can't force masturbate, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I gotta at least want to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's interesting how they worded that. I mean, I wonder if they just did a poll and was just like, how often do you masturbate? You know, it's like, when you're horny, it's like, well, yeah, if I'm not horny, why else am I masturbating?
just because you ain't got nothing else to do.
I don't know.
Like that
Guys
was...
are always fucking horny though, so I mean, it's just
well,
like,
some women are always horny.
True,
I mean,
that's fair.
Some of
there's
us,
no such thing. Women are
some
never
of us
are
have-
horny and they never have orgasms. Those are
yeah,
all myths.
okay, yeah. Mhm.
Women hate sex.
Women don't masturbate.
Nope,
No,
nope.
not at all.
And they don't poop.
We don't fart.
Right.
We
none of that
don't.
shit. Mm-mm.
We don't drink beer. We don't play beer pong.
No, none of that shit. No.
No.
Don't like sports. None of it.
Nope.
This is terrible. I am curious
If you
though.
can't see or if you can't hear the sarcasm in our voice,
Yes,
then
yes.
you probably shouldn't be
Yes, we're
listening
not-
to our show.
We're not misogynists.
No.
Mostly.
Whatever.
I am curious though if it's like certain AAA titles that affect the porn viewership. Like, for example, like does a new Zelda game have the same effect?
Probably
as
not.
opposed to like the same effect as like a new Call of Duty game?
Probably not. Just
So do you think like more people would stop watching porn to play Call of Duty than they would
yes.
for Zelda?
Yes.
That's fair.
Because-
What about like Super Smash Bros?
Again, I think that platform games like that, Zelda, Mario, stuff like that, those are platform games.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, I mean, not anymore, really.
Well, they
but
used to be.
Sure, yeah.
Anyways, when stuff like that comes out, that's targeted specifically to the people that like to play that kind of a platform.
Sure.
Whereas Call of Duty, you got people everywhere that like to play Call of Duty. I don't personally see the attraction, but I don't like shooting games.
I dabble in shooters. I'm not.
We have more people that like shooting games than that like the cartoon games.
Sure,
is what I'm
sure.
getting at.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean the cartoon games had Mario and Zelda and stuff like that. Those have a big fan base, but not quite as big as something where you can blow somebody's head off.
Sure. I'm sure when like a new GTA game comes out, and shit like that. But at the same time though, a lot of these games, with like female characters that are like hypersexualized and shit, people end up searching for porn for these characters and
Sure,
shit. Like you have no idea the the rabbit holes I've fallen down, like
I
finding
can imagine.
like porn of like video game characters. It's
I can imagine.
It's fascinating. I would watch a whole documentary. I'm telling you. So Netflix, get on that shit. You can come talk to me. I'll help you flesh out the idea. But Making a Murderer has been so popular. I have your next documentary, Making a Masturbator. Let's get that shit going. As well too, I'm like, what other pop culture events like do you think would affect porn viewership? They were talking about like Apple rolling out its products and stuff.
That's kind of shocking.
I'm like, do you think like, I don't know, like the debates, the presidential debates?
Maybe.
That,
I mean,
especially now in the age of Trump and shit, do you think
maybe.
that has, would affect viewership? Or I don't know. I'm trying to think. The Olympics, maybe.
The Olympics,
or
yeah.
Super Bowl.
I can see that the Olympics would. The Super Bowl probably does.
Yeah, just jack off during a halftime show. You ain't missing nothing.
not most of the time.
No.
Yeah, I can see where those two like big. The FIFA World Cup, I'm sure. Probably has a big decrease in porn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I kind of want to do my own research.
I told you it's fascinating. I see you laughed, but you see what I'm
okay,
going.
but
How
I
fascinating this
laughed
is.
because I also find weird sexual things interesting.
Sure.
So, I mean, I took a sexuality class just because.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's that has nothing even to do with my career.
No,
or what I wanna
it
major.
counted. It counted
Sure.
as an elective, but I had already had all my electives, and I just took it just to take it.
For shits and gigs.
Yeah, pretty much. And I wanted to buy the $200 book.
Jesus.
It takes a lot to get me to want to buy a $200 book.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wanted to buy this book just so that I'd have it.
I feel that. That's fair. All right, moving on. This one, I called this shit pretty much right after we did our review of the Halloween movie. But they are already in talks to make a sequel to the Halloween 2018 movie. I'm getting this from MovieWeb.com. Danny McBride, he says, we definitely have ideas of what we would do. I think we did not allow ourselves to really indulge those ideas until the movie came out. We just wanted to put all our hopes and dreams in having this film stick the landing. But we do have thoughts and ideas of what we could possibly do. We haven't invested a ton of time on them, but now we're being asked to figure it out. There are definitely talks on whether we will do more of them, and we're just trying to see what best makes sense.
He said a whole lot of shit without saying a whole lot of nothing.
Pretty much, yeah. But from what I found out researching this, Jamie Lee Curtis, she did say that she would return if the director comes back.
Okay.
So there's that. But I am curious, like, how this will work from here, because they made it a point in this particular movie to flat out say, like, Michael is human. He's not, like, possessed or have some superhuman whatever. I mean, he's strong as shit and scary, the motherfucker, but he can die, he can be killed. It's like, you know, how are we going to explain how he survives this? Now, granted, I know people are going to say, well, you don't see his body in the basement in the fire. And it's like, everything was burning. Like, what do you...
Yeah, there was no way out of there.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, look, if they're going to make another one, they're going to have to explain how he got out. If they pull some H2O shit and be like,
oh my God, no.
Oh, you know, it wasn't him, if somebody else had the mask on, and I'm like, no, because then why would they be trying to kill them? And yeah, no, don't.
Whether they do or don't make a second one is irrelevant, because more than likely it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah.
However, if they continue after that, we're kind of running out of things.
I think that this was a good, solid ending to the franchise. Like,
I think so. Like I had told you off mic, we have 40 years of Michael Myers. That is a long time.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, yes, we've had multiple Jason movies. Yes, we've had multiple Freddy movies. Chucky still won't die.
Right.
But they're kind of trickling out.
Sure.
You know, we haven't seen a new Freddy movie in, 10 years since Freddy versus Jason?
Oh, no, they did that Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Did they have one more?
Yeah, I think. Okay. I don't remember when it came out, but...
Okay, so still, I mean, that's still been a chunk of time. We haven't had a Michael Myers movie up until this point.
Since that Rob Zombie
shit. That's still, you're talking late 2000s.
Yeah.
And then, you know... Jason, his movies have kind of...
Yeah, petered out.
He's come back from the dead, and he's had his story rewritten, and...
Well, to be fair, though, we're not... As far as this continuity goes, none of that shit happened. So, you know, we're not gonna hold that against the movie, because technically none of that shit was supposed to have happened.
Yeah, I guess so, but...
My concern would be, is that... Like I said, this is a good definitive ending to the franchise.
Right.
You could not make any more sequels after this, and I would be content with how it ended. I'm almost certain that if they make another one, it's going to cheapen this movie in the effect that it had, because there was a finality to it, to where it was like Laurie finally beat him.
She got her piece.
Right, you know, and you know, she got closure on what happened to her 40 years ago.
Right.
And I like that they even made it a generational thing with the daughter and the granddaughter and stuff. So I don't know. Like, I would be worried that it would kind of just undo all the goodwill that they got from this movie if they make another one, to be honest. I mean, people are going to see it just cause, but...
I feel like it's going to get, the same crap that the Rob Zombie movie got. Granted...
Oh, the sequel?
Yeah.
H2 or whatever the fuck it was called.
I don't even remember. But, even though Rob Zombie took it and made it his own...
Uh-huh.
It was an okay film.
Uh-huh.
Ended it the way that they needed to end it.
Mm-hmm.
But revamping it for part 2, it didn't do any good. No. And plus, they changed it so much in the second one where it was just like, this don't even feel like a Halloween movie anymore. This is just Rob Zombie's just jerking off on the fucking camera at this point. Right.
I am curious, though, if they are going to make a sequel, but do we focus this movie more on Allison than Laurie? Like, do we kill Laurie in this one? Does she survive? Like, I mean, if Jamie Lee Curtis is going to come back for it, she's going to play some kind of role.
I almost want to see, we saw a glimpse of how Laurie trained her daughter.
Sure.
I almost want to see her daughter kind of take a step back and be like, okay, mom's not crazy. We need to kind of up our security game here.
But at the same time,
and
though,
I
why
want to
would
see
they?
I want to see Allison,
because they assume that Michael's dead, like dead now.
Well, yeah, but that's still, you're still not going to let your guard down in case something crazy happens. Michael's not the only serial killer out there.
Sure, but
there's a lot of speculation.
Yeah.
Either which way, I want to see Laurie take because the granddaughter didn't know how to shoot.
No.
The granddaughter didn't know nothing about guns, safe houses. She's running off in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
She's not the brightest bulb in the box.
Sure.
I kind of want to see Laurie take in this granddaughter and be like, all right, this is what I've been trying to tell you your whole life, or your mom's whole life, and she kind of sheltered you away from it, so welcome to my world in case, another crazy guy breaks out and we gotta do this again here.
That's fair. I guess we'll see what comes of it. I mean, it's a Blumhouse movie, so it shouldn't take too long for a sequel to this to come out.
Probably not.
Honestly, if another one comes out by next Halloween, it won't surprise me. So, we'll see. My one thing that kind of gives me pause on it, though, if Michael isn't going to be related to the Strodes, like Laurie and stuff like that, how are we going to make it justify, make it make sense how he's going to be going after Laurie again?
Right.
Or the daughter again, or the granddaughter again. It's like, well, I mean, I guess they could be like, oh, he wants revenge because they tried to kill him or whatever. But I'm like, would he really do that, though?
No.
So I don't know. Like I said, I feel like they made the ending too well. Like they didn't leave enough open to be like, okay, maybe he could have got out. Because I'm like, and if he does, and since they've changed the continuity to where he's not related to them, it's like, well, why not just go start killing random people like you normally did in the first place? So we'll see what they do with it.
What is your obsession with this chick?
Yeah, I'm kind of, on a gut reaction, I'm kind of against them making another one, but this movie's made too much money at this point. Like, they're going to make another one.
Sure.
Like, it's just a given at this point. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll see how it turns out. I'll still go see it, but I kind of don't want one.
Yeah.
I'm kind of good with this. And it's crazy because I love Michael Myers, but I'm
good with it.
I'm pretty much good with how it ended. I'm happy. But anyway, moving on. It's that time again for America's #1 show, Dumb Shit of the Week. That's right. Dumb Shit of the Week is the show where you submit your findings of dumb shit and we talk about it. Want your submission on the show? Find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or you can email us at officialOGLFG@gmail.com. Now here's your host, DJ Melly Mel.
Thank you. All right. Well, as this is our Halloween episode. And as we have done lately, you know, we have themes for dumb shit of the week. This week is no different. We have this week's dumb shit of the week theme. Worst mainstream horror films. Mm-hmm. And we've got quite the contributions today.
We had a lot more than what I ended up picking because after a point I was like, okay,
this is thinned out. Jesus.
Oh yeah. This is.
You sent me dumb shit and we had like 2 pages. I was like, damn.
Yeah. This one got a lot of reactions, which I'm glad though, because I'm happy that so many people are participating.
Sure. Yeah, we appreciate each and every one of you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we'll just dive right in. Our first submission was sent to us by Keegan Damron, and you can find them at Keegan_Damron on Twitter. And they say, any Paranormal Activity movie.
I like the first one. I like the second one. Everyone after that didn't keep that shit.
I don't think I've seen any of them.
The first one is alright. The second one I think is the best, honestly.
Okay. Sometimes that happens.
It's a found footage, haunted house movie.
Yeah, see, I don't like found footages.
Yeah.
I think they're weird.
I do.
Like, the shaky camera thing drives me nuts.
I don't know, but you don't like the original Cloverfield, though, either, do you?
No, that's what I mean. That shaky I didn't like Blair Witch because of its shakiness, too.
If you could see the face I just made when she said that.
Other than the shaky camera angles, it was a good movie.
Okay.
Fair.
We'll take it.
The second submission was sent to us by Fry Gay, the 13th horror podcast, and you can find them at FryGay13 on Twitter. And they say, I love Wes Craven and honor his role in horror, but my soul to take is so bad.
That one I haven't seen.
My soul to take?
No, I haven't seen that one.
No.
Which it makes me curious. Like, we should watch that one because I'm curious as to what the premise of that one is.
Okay. Yeah. I actually had to think because I have a contribution this week too.
Okay.
And I really had to sit down and think about all the horror movies, slasher, thrillers, whatever you want to call them, that I actually enjoy. And I found there's more than what I thought.
Right, but...
Like, I like more horror movies than what I thought. Mm-hmm. And to pick
one that you didn't... Well, we want one that you don't like.
Right.
She's like, yep, totally got it.
No, like, to pick the ones that were just absolutely terrible. I couldn't.
I could tell you about like 10 off the top of my head because I've seen so many horror movies and some are just like fucking kill me.
Yeah, there were some of them. I'm just like, yeah, this has gotta go. But anyway, our third submission comes to us, Ghosts of the Stratosphere, and you can find them at Got Stratosphere on Twitter. They say, The Strangers, Pray at Night is a case of recency bias since it's from this year, but it was really, really bad. It made me angry.
See, I like the original The Strangers. I don't know why you would make a sequel to that because that is kind of like one of those bottleneck, you trapped in a house, people are trying to, it's like home invasion type movies. So I'm like, why would you make another one of these? Like,
so kind of like The Purge?
Kinda, sorta, but not really.
Okay.
Kind of like the first Purge, because all the Purges after that, the story opened up more, and it was more in the world and stuff, but yeah, kinda,
like the first one where they're trying to get into the house.
Yeah, more so like the first Purge than any of the sequels, but yeah, no, The Strangers, the first one is actually a pretty good movie. I think Liv Tyler's in that one.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. I think they come back from like a wedding, and they're at somebody's, house out in the woods or some such shit, and then everything just goes fucking crazy when these fucking people try to get in. And
I would say houses in the woods never yield a good thing.
No. Note to self, do not go out a cabin in the woods.
I actually
ever.
lived in a cabin in the woods.
Nope.
And
that
I
noise.
was 10 miles out of town, and I don't know what possessed me to live out there because it was a single room cabin. It was ridiculous. Needless to say, I did not watch any scary movies while living out there.
No, you were living one. You don't need to.
Yeah. Let's see. Mac the Ripper at Cinemac on Twitter. Hey, we've heard from them.
Oh yeah, I was
quite
gonna say, I'm like Mac the Ripper. He's
Mac the Ripper. Yeah.
He's sent us quite a few submissions.
Yes,
so
he
thank you,
has.
Mac.
He says the Wolfman remake from 2010. Too many jump scares. It's a cattle prod cinema, in the words of, and he's quoting Kermode at Kermode movie.
Yeah. Yeah, oh God. I love werewolf movies. I've seen, Silver Bullet, Ginger Snaps, American Werewolf in London and Paris. Fucking the Underworld movies, all kind of shit. Like, I love werewolf movies, and that Wolfman remake is just garbage. Like, I was hoping that because they were talking about doing like practical effects for the transformation and shit, but they ended up doing CG any goddamn way. It looks really bad. It looks really bad. And it's not a good movie. Hugo Weaving's in it.
Okay.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, he's
Agent Smith.
I would say he's the bad guy from The Matrix.
Yeah, the Grand Elf from the Lord of the Rings movies. Yeah, no, the Wolfman remake is not good.
I'll pass, thanks.
Y'all can keep that bullshit.
Okay, so this one's gonna probably get a little bit of backlash here. This was sent to us from Best.
Nope. You skipped one.
Oh, yep, I sure did. We will come back to that one. How about the unlucky ones? And you can find them TUO_podcast on Twitter. They say the Devil's Due somehow had hopes that it'd be better and it'd be somewhat good.
Nope. Now that's a Rob Zombie one, isn't it?
Possibly.
The Devil's Due. I'm not sure. I didn't see that one, but I'm like,
Is it sad that I have no idea what most of these are?
Well, you said you don't watch a ton of horror movies. So
Not really.
I would say most of the
Are most of these mainstream?
Yeah. That's why I made a point, because I was like, well, I didn't want it to be some
like obscure,
right? That's some no one's ever seen before.
Sure.
So it's like, no, that I didn't want it to just be just some random ass thing. I was like, I actually want it to be a movie that people would recognize and shit like that. So, but no, it has an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's directed by Matt Bettinelli, Olpen, and Tyler Gillette.
Never heard of either one of them.
Written by Lindsay Devlin.
Devlin.
Yeah. Here, let's see real quick. Says, after their wedding, Zach and Samantha McCall head to the Dominican Republic for the honeymoon. The trip takes an unsettling turn when a psychic gives them an ominous warning. The newlyweds eventually make their way to a bar and get very drunk. The next morning, they remember little of the night's events. Later, Sam learns that she is pregnant. However, strange physical and mental changes lead to her realization that the pregnancy has a sinister origin.
She got impregnated
so she
by
got
the
date
devil.
raped by the devil. There we go. Oh, see?
Yeah,
we need to give this movie a chance.
I'll pass. Thank you.
Oh.
I will pass. Okay, let's try this one again. Best OT.
Besotted Geek.
Oh, fuck. I need my glasses.
See, you fucking up his shit. And,
I'm sorry.
And me and Besotted Geek been talking a lot lately, and I'm like, you shitting and trampled all over his polo name.
I'm sorry, Besotted Geek. I really should wear my glasses, especially at night.
You really should.
I really should.
It was a good thing you didn't drive.
Yes, it's a good thing I'm not driving. Besotted Geek, and you can find them at Besotted Geek Pod on Twitter. They say the Blair Witch 2 Book of Boogaloo, or whatever the hell it was called. And yeah, I saw it in a theater.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go see any of the Blair Witches in the theater.
I saw the original Blair Witch Project in the theater, and I saw Blair Witch 2 in the theater, and I was livid when I walked out of Blair Witch 2.
Oh,
I knew I wasn't going to be happy with it because the original Blair Witch Project is a found footage movie.
Right.
And the sequel is not.
Right.
The sequel is just like a traditional movie, and they tried to get all like special effects and all that shit with it, and I was like, that's not what made the first one good. What made the first one good was the atmosphere, the characters, how they reacted to what was happening. Because you don't actually see anyone die in the original movie.
No.
You don't see a witch or anything like that. It's just the implied shit is what makes it scary.
Sure.
So yeah, I was not happy with Blair Witch 2 Book of Boogaloo.
The Boogaloo.
Oh, Blair Witch and the Electric Slide.
It's electric.
Oh shit.
God. Yeah, I can agree with that because Blair Witch 2 was awful.
I know, and it's funny because like you said, like, you know, you don't even care for that movie. I know because it's the whole found footage thing.
Well, yeah, but
there are some people who just flat out just don't like the movie because they just don't like the movie, and I'm like, yeah, watch the second one and you'll have a much better appreciation.
You'll
for
be
the
like,
first one.
oh my God, that
What was
first
I
one.
thinking?
First one was great. Okay. Our next submission was sent to us by Grave Girls Podcast, and you can find them at grave_girls. And this is going to cause some uproar. They say, I wasn't impressed by Get Out.
You Get Out. I love you, Grave Girls, but you Get Out.
I liked Get Out.
I know, right? I'm like,
I didn't see it in theaters, and it was one of those nights T-Money and I were sitting on the couch.
T-Money?
And I was like, hey, we need to, let's have a date night on the couch, Netflix and chill kind of thing without the chill part. Mm-hmm. And we were just, he's like, well, we want to watch Get Out? Sure. We didn't get to go see it. Mm-hmm. And I liked it. Yeah, like, we were sitting on the edge of the couch, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like dancing because I got to pee. And he's like, what is wrong with you? I said, I got to use the bathroom, but I don't want to get up in the middle of the movie. He's like, I can pause it. I said, it's going to ruin the movie. No. Well, because, you get into it, and you, like, get that. You get that,
no,
I don't
when nature
know.
calls, I gotta go do my business.
No, I will sit and dance until the end credits.
She's like, it's okay. Just give me a fucking bedpan.
No.
We can just keep. I don't want to stop the flow.
No. I just, when you get into a movie and you're actually into it.
Now, I get your point, like at a theater, because it's like I know if I'll leave, I'm gonna miss shit. But if I can pause it, I'm good. It'll be there when I come back.
No, I'm just weird.
I wonder though. I'm curious, and I'm not sure which one of the Grave Girls this is because I believe it's 3 of them on the podcast. But I'm curious, like, why you didn't like it. I wonder if it was like overhyped for her.
Could be.
And so she went into it with higher expectations than what maybe could have been satisfied.
Could be. Maybe she didn't like the ending, or she didn't like how it played out, or it was portrayed differently in the trailer than what it turned out to be.
I honestly, if it is like an overhyped thing, I get it, because I've had people, word of mouth geek something up to the point where it's like, by the time I went and seen it, I was like, yeah, it was never going to live up to my expectations.
Right. You have this,
you've put it up on this pedestal.
Yeah, you got it on this pedestal, and then you're just like, no. Our next one is sent to us by So Wizard Podcast, and you can find them at So Wizard Podcast on Twitter. I hate Gremlins so much. I watched it as a kid, and it scared the bejesus out of me. I slept in my parents' room for a week. Gremlins? Really?
Yeah.
I like Gremlins. I've always liked Gremlins. I mean, going back and watching it after the fact, you're like, God, those things are ugly and creepy. But I wouldn't say that they scared me. Unless they're talking specifically about the one with the fucking pink lipstick. That was terrifying.
That one was, yeah.
That thing was terrifying. I always joked that my Furbies were going to turn into a gremlin.
never disliked them, but I never even felt like they were a horror movie. I always felt like they were like horror comedies.
Sure.
Because I'm like, man, you can't make anything scary that has fucking Gizmo in it. So
Right?
I'm like, the original Furby.
Love Gizmo. Just don't feed him after midnight.
Yeah, but I can feel that because those movies are pretty dumb. So it's whatever.
It was the 80s.
Yeah, I have nostalgia for it, so I get it though. I mean, I have rose tinted glasses, but I get that it's not that great.
Hey, my aunt was afraid of Wizard of Oz, so
That witch is pretty fucking great. They do
wasn't
drop
even
a
the
fucking
witch.
house on
It was
her.
the fucking monkeys.
That's pretty disturbing.
She's
too.
afraid of the flying monkeys.
The Munchkins actually was the scariest.
Yeah,
shit in that movie.
the Munchkins were creepy as hell.
Yes.
We are the Lollipop Guild. No,
God,
fuck that.
That's the shit of nightmares right there.
Yeah, fuck that. WDIM Podcast, and you can find them at WDIM Podcast on Twitter, all one word. They say Alien versus Predator, or Freddy versus Jason. Both are really disappointing.
Yeah, Alien versus Predator, both of them are shit. Freddy versus Jason, I thought there were some cool kills in it, but I thought the story, like the reasoning for how they got together and everything, I thought was really dumb. I didn't like it.
My least favorite part of Freddy versus Jason is when when Jason's cut off Freddy's head at the end, and he's standing there and Freddy fucking winks at the camera.
I was just like,
You're like, really? Really?
He pulled a Deadpool at the end of the movie and
no.
he like broke the fourth wall, and I'm just like,
Yeah, I have to agree with this one because AVP was pretty bad.
No, the thing I really didn't like about Freddy vs. Jason was the fact that Freddy was able to put up any kind of a fight with Jason in the real world. I get it when he was in the dream that Freddy was fucking him up. That makes sense. But when they're like in the real world, Freddy was still whooping his ass way more than what he should have been. And I was just like, Freddy would get fucking slaughtered by Jason on an even playing field. Like, you know, no powers involved, just one-on-one. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That rubbed me the wrong way the whole time I was watching it.
I don't even think I watched the whole thing. I really don't. Because I don't remember hardly any of it.
The ending is him with the head.
Yeah, the ending is the only thing that I remember.
Don't go back and watch it.
Oh, I didn't plan
There is one scene, though, towards the beginning where Jason kills a kid at the camp where he stabs him, like, through the bed, and they show, like, the machete going all the way through the bottom of the bed. And then he takes the bed and folds it in half.
Okay.
That was kind of cool, but other than that, yeah, that movie's shit.
Okay, so I can just YouTube that one scene.
Yeah, pretty much just look up that one kill, and then you can
yeah.
skip everything else.
Yeah, it would be good. The next one, geez, we're almost done, guys. We got
I told you it was
4
a
or
lot.
5 more here. This was sent to us by The Silent K, and you can find them at The Silent K Pod on Twitter. I really, really wanted to like Lords of Salem, but it was just so bad. Extremely disappointing.
I will agree with that.
I've never even heard of that movie, so...
Don't, again, that's another one where it's like, if you ain't seen it, don't even bother with it. It ain't worth it.
Yeah, I don't have anything to weigh in because I've never seen that movie. Never even heard of it.
Don't bother.
The next one comes from Shicklock.
I think it's Schlock Tactics.
Schlock Tactics. See, I'm telling you, them damn glasses. Schlock Tactics on Twitter, all one word. And they say, I Am Legend. I think that parts of I Am Legend could have been good.
Yeah.
The thing that kills I Am Legend for me is that it's one person through the entire movie. Kind of like Castaway.
Well, kind of, sort of. Towards about the halfway point, he does meet 2 other characters, but I didn't like it because it veered so far away from the book. Like, the book, like, the creatures are not like this zombie type thing, but they're more like vampires, pretty much.
Okay.
And they're intelligent and they can talk and shit like that.
See, I didn't know there was a book.
Yeah, and in the movie, they changed a lot about it, so...
It kind of had a, what is that damn movie? Is it the Resident Evil where they're like zombies? Kind of a Resident Evil-y feel for me. I don't know. I didn't necessarily not like I Am Legend, but I didn't necessarily like I Am Legend.
The ending could have been a lot better too. I didn't care.
I didn't
for how
like
it
when he
ended.
had to shoot the poor dog.
Yeah.
But dogs are my soft spot, so.
Most people, animals and dying in movies, it usually rubs them the wrong way. So I get
No,
that.
specifically dogs.
Okay.
Like,
that's
I
fair.
can't make it through Marley and Me. I stop right before the dog dies.
So y'all could
every
just
time.
kill Owen Wilson and let the dog live.
Yep, I'd have been good.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I Am Legend, it's not as good as it could have been.
Sure.
The next one was sent to us by Marty at Marty's Movies on Twitter. Marty McFly?
Probably.
That would be cool.
Probably not.
That'd be cool. The inner geek in me wishes. But Marty says, Hannibal. I was bored and annoyed, doubled by the fact that it's a sequel to a classic.
Yeah, Hannibal and Red Dragon, I didn't care for either one of those movies. They're all sequels to Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, we sat and watched all four of them.
Oh,
There's
really?
4 of them.
Oh, there's 4.
There's Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, Hannibal, and then there's another one in there.
Okay.
I think Hannibal is like the prequel to all of them.
I thought Red Dragon was a prequel.
Is it?
It's Hannibal he said it's a sequel to the classic, so I'm pretty sure Hannibal's a sequel. Red Dragon's the prequel. That's like before he gets caught.
Yeah, and then there's another one in there. There was 4 of them altogether.
I'm pretty sure it's based off a series of books, and I would have been good with just Silence of the Lambs.
I liked them all.
I don't I haven't had a chance to see the Hannibal series, but from what I hear from that's actually a really good show. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, the movie, y'all can keep that shit. I was not happy with that one at all.
There was Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, Red Dragon, and then Hannibal Rising.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I knew there was a 4th one in there.
Yeah.
But the time spacing between them was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Silence of the Lambs was in 91.
Mm-hmm.
Hannibal was in 2001.
Yeah.
Hannibal, Red Dragon was in 02,
Mm-hmm.
and then Hannibal Rising was in 07.
I can't believe that those movies came out a year apart. That's crazy.
Hannibal and Red Dragon.
Yeah.
Hannibal Rising goes, like, back to the beginning of, like, it ties in with Silence of the Lambs, where he comes in at the end of the movie, and it's Anthony Hopkins with a ponytail, and he's in the jail, and it looks like he's talking to Clarice, and it's kind of crazy.
I need to see that one just to finish it out, because I've seen the first 3, so I might as well watch the 4th one too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. To each their own, I suppose.
Hannibal shit. No, he's right. Hannibal shit.
I didn't think it was that bad, but we've already established I have a taste for bad movies.
I'm not gonna comment. I'm not even.
No,
gonna say
because
the D word.
your face is saying all over.
I'm not gonna say the D word. I'm not gonna go there.
No,
I
we're gonna go to our next
The
submission
movie is
from
dead to me.
the alternate timeline, and you can find them at ALT Timecast on Twitter. Maybe not 100% in line with the genre-wise, but my life certainly felt like a horror film after sitting through Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Yes, those movies are terrible. T-U-R. Terrible. Like,
I've actually heard of this one, but not seen it.
Prometheus had a good premise to start with. Mm-hmm. But they tried too hard to tie it into the Alien franchise, and I think that's what kind of ruined that movie.
Okay.
Then Alien Covenant was kind of like, okay, people didn't like Prometheus because it wasn't enough about the Alien movies, so we're basically just going to scrap everything we were setting up in the first movie and just make a traditional Alien movie after that. And I was just like, man...
Yeah, I can't...
Like they were doing something different, and I was actually intrigued with what they were doing, and then they kind of just was like, oh, we're just going to go back to what's familiar.
Yeah.
Like,
I can
people don't
see
like
where
change.
that rub people the wrong way.
Yeah. Danny McBride's in Alien Covenant, actually.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he plays like the pilot, I think. Yeah.
Okay. With that, we're going to jump to our last one. And this is sent to us by We Seent It. And you can find them at we_Seent, SEENT_it. And they are on Twitter. And they say that Dead Silence is the worst.
I refuse to go see this shit because I can't fuck with the Insidious shit. Because isn't that a tie-in to the Insidious movies? Because I know The Nun is, and I know Annabelle is.
Were they?
Yeah, because they're part of the.
They're part of the. I knew they were part of The Conjuring, but I didn't.
Or I'm sorry, I said Insidious. I meant The Conjuring. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The Conjuring. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That makes more sense
My
because
bad.
I knew that The Nun was and Annabelle was,
Mm-hmm.
and then
I thought
Annabelle
Dead Silence was a tie into that, but if not, yeah, I don't. The whole puppet thing, yeah. No.
Yeah, I don't like puppets, but it says from the writers and directors of Saw. After his wife meets a grisly end, Jamie Ashton returns to their creepy hometown of Raven's Fair to unravel the mystery of her murder. Once there, he discovers the legend of Mary Shaw, a murdered ventriloquist whose eerie presence still looms over the town. As he desperately digs for answers, Jamie encounters the curse that took his wife's life and threatens his own.
Oh,
that
God.
shit just sounds horrible.
I'm sorry, that person's like the ghost of the ventriloquist.
What the fuck? Written by Leah somebody, the creators of Saw. James Wan and Leah Wananil.
Oh, God.
Okay, no. It says similar movies underneath of it. Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, more, and all of the
maybe it was just the
sequels.
producers of The Conjuring and shit, and maybe that's why I connect those movies. I thought it was a part of that franchise, but who knows?
How the fuck? Okay, stories by James Wan. Saw, Conjuring, Insidious, all the sequels, yada yada. The Nun, Demonic, Aquaman.
Yeah, you didn't know he was making Aquaman?
It's just weird.
I know.
It's weird to look, to scroll on.
To go through his filmography.
Yeah,
and
to
then
scroll
you get
on
down
his
there and it's just
filmography
like,
and you got all these
how
dark,
the
creepy
fuck?
movies and then you
Well,
got fucking Aquaman.
He directed one of the Fast and Furious movies, too. I don't know why that's not in there, but I'm pretty sure he did one of the Fast and Furious movies.
It's not a full...
Oh, well, either way.
Yeah.
Regardless
I don't
of
do ventriloquism. I don't...
Yeah. There was a movie from back when I was a kid, The Puppet Master.
Yeah,
you
fuck
ever seen
that.
those?
Fuck that.
Yeah. No, they can keep those.
Yeah, I don't
They were creepy to me just because I was a kid and they were dolls killing people. But
yeah, I don't...
Child's Play, I think, is the only one that ever did it right.
Yes.
The first Child's Play, all the ones after that.
The second one wasn't bad.
Is that the one where he shoves the knife in his hand? Like he gets his hand cut off? Because they're at the toy factory in the second one, right?
I think so.
I don't know. I need to watch Child's Play again. Child's Play 2.
I want to say, I was actually having this debate earlier about which one was my favorite because we did that other part of the show. And I really had to sit and think about which one was which because I haven't seen them in so long.
I feel like the second one is when they go to the toy factory, but I could be wrong. Either way, any of this possessed doll, any of that
I
Annabelle,
don't do
Dead
possessed
Silence,
dolls.
all that bullshit.
You know, my mom keeps trying to tell me that, my porcelain doll collection's gonna go to you when I die.
That shit's gonna catch on fire.
I said that shit is going to a Goodwill somewhere, and I'm never looking back. I don't do dolls. Barbies, sure, not dolls. Can't do them. They're creepy and freaky, and my great grandma makes dolls, And she's sent me a couple of them. She was up here this summer and she's like, oh, here, do you want a doll? I can send your aunt a different one. No, I don't want it. It's okay.
No.
Keep it at Aunt Sandy's house. I'm good.
We're going to leave it on top of the car by accident.
No,
quote,
no.
unquote, and drive off.
Of course, my aunt pulls me aside and she's like, it's okay if you want one of those dolls. I said, no,
I'm good.
I'm really trying to be nice to Gigi and I just don't want it. I said, please, I have a weird thing about dolls. Do not send that thing to my house.
No, I'm good. You can keep it.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I have one on here.
Okay.
Or one that should be on here that is not on here. Worst mainstream horror film. Are you ready? Freddy. He's terrifying.
Oh,
I don't like anything with Freddy.
Okay.
That's probably why I didn't watch Freddy vs. Jason.
Now, is it the worst because you think it's a bad movie or you just don't like that character?
No, I don't like the character.
I think Freddy's a dumb character.
I
think the
really
concept of Freddy is good. I think it's a concept that you can do a lot with.
Sure.
I just don't think the character himself is very...
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad that somebody agrees because he's poorly executed. I don't...
There's too much, like, mustache twirling with Freddy for me because he fucks with his victims too much. And it's like, I get it. That's kind of his shtick. But after a while, he gets old, and it's just like, just fucking kill him already and be done with all this other shit. Visually, they do cool things with him and with the dreams and all that. That's a cool concept, but...
Like I said, there's potential.
Yeah.
But the way that it's executed, I just don't...
It's funny because people don't like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I actually kind of like that one because they actually tried to make Freddy scary in that one. All the other Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I never found him scary. I thought the kills were cool, and like I said, the concept is cool, but Freddy himself, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, but yeah. I mean, I don't think I have a worse one that I can think of. Well, I said in the beginning I can think of like 10, but like a very, very worst. Oh God, there's so many. I guess I'll say this one just because I just seen it recently. Jason X. Jason X is fucking terrible.
It really is.
Like, it's funny because I put out a poll.
That's the one where he's in space?
Yeah. I tried to like figure out a poll, to see like if they thought that Jason X was the worst in the franchise, and most people actually said that Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty bad too.
Because they're like, well, Jason's barely in it. I was like, yeah, but at least it's on fucking Earth, man.
It's true.
They didn't fucking take a Star Trek episode and
That's
a
true.
Friday the 13th movie
That's
and try to
true.
mash them together.
That's true.
But yeah.
Cloverfield is pretty bad.
Cloverfield
the third
Paradox,
one. Yeah,
yes.
that Paradox. That's
God.
pretty bad.
Oh, that movie is terrible.
Yep, that was a pretty bad one.
That is watching somebody take a shit on camera. That is literally what I felt like I was happening.
Some of the later Chucky movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially The Seed of Chucky.
Oh yeah, isn't that the one where like he's like he has like the girl Chucky doll and they're like fucking and she has a baby?
Yeah, he has a son.
Once you start giving a serial killer a girlfriend and shit, it's like you've literally ran out of all
the Bride of Chucky was kind of cool, and that actually made my other list.
Was it though?
The Seed of Chucky, however, just
for a new generation.
It was just weird. Like the doll itself, that was the child, looked weird.
Yeah.
They had the child bounce back and forth between whether it was going to be a boy or a girl because it didn't have anatomical parts and just this whole storyline. That crazy ass laugh that the seed child had was fucking ridiculous. It's just like, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
What am I watching right now? What is this?
Get out with this shit.
No, stop it.
Yeah. We had a good list this week.
Yeah.
We had a good list.
It was very robust.
It was. It covered all kinds of...
Too much so, actually.
Right, we had to thin it out a little bit.
I appreciate everybody that submitted, and if I didn't get yours on the list, hey, no offense. It just started to become so huge after a while where I was just like, okay, I felt like the guy from Arrested Development is like, I've made a terrible mistake.
Yep. Everybody can remember that Dumb Shit of the Week is your show, so send us in your submissions. Every week we'll compile them, read them, and shout out to you for sending them. So keep up the good work and keep them coming. You can send it to us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or you can always email it to us at officialoglfg@gmail.com.
All right, so we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but I wanted to expound upon it a little bit more. Apparently, LeBron James, he wants to reboot the Friday the 13th franchise.
Doesn't this man have enough going on?
No. He's producing and starring in Space Jam. Apparently, he's wanting to bring back House Party.
Yeah.
So no. Apparently, he does not have enough on his plate. But I didn't even. It's not because, I mean, nothing's happening yet. We don't have any kind of release date. No one's been, cast. There's no director. There's no script or anything. He just wants to reboot it. But I mainly want to talk about this story just because I want to play a game.
Okay.
Much. Would you like to play a game?
I was waiting for it.
No, okay. So after the 2009 reboot, that was the one that Michael Bay produced, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Jason with explosions.
Jason on a robot.
Right. Riding a fucking surfboard and shit with a machete, just going through people. But after that reboot and the recent Friday the 13th, the game that came out, how should they reboot this franchise? Now, this is the question I want to pose to you. Now, before we go into it, we got to establish some rules about it first, okay? First, is this film, so let's just say LeBron James came to us and he said, okay, Mike C. Square and DJ Melly Mel, you are in charge of rebooting this franchise. I'm going to give you X amount of millions of dollars. Go. So, if we're going to do this, is this film going to be about Jason or his mother, like in the original Friday the 13th? Because in the original movie, Jason's dead and his mother's killing everybody.
Right.
Jason doesn't actually appear until the second film. And I think he doesn't actually get his hockey mask until the third film.
End of the second one, I think.
Okay, end of the second one. Okay, all right.
Enough,
so you don't
enough
see
of
him...
the second one passed, though.
Yeah. So you don't actually see him for the entire duration of that movie.
Yeah,
with the
not
hockey mask
really.
until the third one. Okay. So
Not if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like, do we have his mother be the killer if we reboot it, or is it just about Jason? Because I'm curious your thoughts on it.
It makes more sense, I think, for it to be the mother as a revenge killer.
Sure.
Whereas the ones where it's just Jason kind of makes him seem inhuman.
Well, he did drown, and he's back from the dead.
That's
shit.
true.
Some kind of curse or some shit.
That's true.
Which we're going to get to that. Okay.
I don't know. I kind of like more of, you let my kid die, so I'm going to go crazy on you, versus, I drowned, and now I'm going to come back to life and...
Sure. And kill everybody that comes to this camp. I personally feel that a Friday the 13th movie isn't a Friday the 13th movie without Jason. I feel like he has to be in the movie.
That's true. That's kind of where I'm conflicted. Like, I want to see this revenge killing from the mother, but also at the same time, like you said, it's not Friday the 13th without Jason. Just
like the Halloween movies. In
right.
Halloween 3, they tried to do something different and not have Michael Myers in it, and people didn't like that, and it was like, okay, we're bringing back Michael Myers. Sorry.
Yeah, Halloween 3 doesn't exist.
We're going to pretend that doesn't exist.
I think that it would be interesting to see maybe both, if that would be a possibility.
Okay, so then I'll pose this question. If Jason is in this one, does he get the hockey mask, or do we save it for the sequel? Like, do we just do the bag over the head with the one eye hole cut out, like in Friday the 13th Part 2? Or are we going straight to the hockey mask? Because that's another thing for me where Friday the 13th isn't
It's
Friday
not the same without
Jason,
the mask.
and Jason isn't Jason without the hockey mask.
Right. So I think that we should see the hockey mask early.
Okay.
Maybe a little backstory about him getting the mask.
Sure.
But
So I think in the reboot one, he just kind of sees it on the ground after he kills a guy, and he picks it up and puts it on. And
Right.
He's like, I like this. I'm rocking
right.
it. Because like he literally like looks at himself in a mirror. I think after he puts it on, he's like, yeah, I like it. Let's go.
Yeah, I think that the hockey mask should be presented early because walking around with the bag on your head, he looks
Yeah,
stupid.
I was gonna say you look too much like a Klansman at that point, so you might want to just
he
lose
looks
the bag
stupid.
on the head. Yeah.
So I think that the hockey mask should be presented early,
Okay.
and I'd like a little more story with it.
Okay. Now, with what you were saying with like flashbacks, I'm gonna assume you're gonna be on the yes end of the spectrum for this one. So, do we have flashbacks explaining what happened to him, like him drowning, him coming back, and stuff like that, or do we just assume that enough people are familiar with Friday the 13th to where we can just skip that and go straight to him just being Jason?
No, I think that the flashbacks are kind of necessary.
Yeah.
Like they did in the Halloween movie where it flashback to the scene where he's killing the sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that was an important part.
Right. Just in case you've never seen it, just to kind of refresh
Right.
you.
To kind of, hey, you know, even if you had seen it 20 years ago or 15
40.
years ago or 40 years ago or, you know, whenever you've jumped into the spectrum, you can kind of get a glimpse, like for the younger generations.
Sure. Yeah, people who may not necessarily be totally familiar with the movies, because there are a lot of people that are like me, where it's like, hey, you know, you come up at a certain age watching a certain type of movies, and it's hard to go back to the you know, older ones. So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people
I'm sure there
who are
is.
horror fans now, you know, who
That
are
have-
our age or younger that haven't, you know, seen the original Friday the 13th.
Either
so.
they haven't seen it or they've had to go back and, you know, pick through that diluted lore that we have for our slasher killers. And I think that the flashbacks would be necessary.
Okay. Now, do we try to explain how is it that Jason is still alive?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Leave it just kind of ambiguous?
Kind of.
Okay.
We're going to have to.
Because that's the one thing that's always bothered me. It's like, I get it, you know, the mother, revenge for her son, yada yada, this, that, and the other, but they never explain why Jason isn't dead.
Right.
Like, or why he comes back from the dead.
Right.
It's like, okay, sure, it's creepy and all that, but it's like, especially in this day and age, even with like supernatural horror shit, there's always some kind of explanation.
I kind of like the explanations a little more.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always asked why for everything. So I'm one that does like the explanations, but I think that the general consensus is that shit happens and they're just going to go with it.
Yeah. Now, since we're going to explain, what is the reason? Why is he not dead, or why won't he stay dead? Like, what brings him back? What's driving him? What's keeping him alive and all that shit? Because in Jason X, they try to pull some shit out their ass and turn him into a fucking X-Men, and they're like, he has regenerative abilities. And I'm like, huh?
No.
I'm like, he's like a rotting corpse through half of these movies. What do you mean he regenerates? I'm like, since when?
No, that was a lame attempt at an explanation.
And not only that explanation raises more questions, because it's like, so are we saying that he could regenerate before he was killed, or since he was
Right,
killed?
why didn't he do that to
like,
fix
so
his
he
face?
always had powers and shit? Damn.
Well,
Oh, that was good. No, that was
just
good.
saying, I mean,
Damn.
that was one of the motivations in the original Michael Myers Jason's. One of the original Jasons, I remember that he was disfigured and disformed, and they just let him die because
Because fuck them, that's why. No. He's like, I'm getting this pussy. Fuck them.
Pretty much.
Oh.
I don't know.
I thought very hard about this because I was like,
demons maybe? Or like, was the mother practicing some kind of evil witchcraft or spells?
What?
It would certainly be a way to turn it.
That's the thing, because if we were to explain why he doesn't die and why he doesn't stay dead, then you have to come up with a whole new lore for the franchise to explain how this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, they never make it a point to explain it in the original franchise. So you would have to make it a point to go, okay, this is why this is happening. And I know that it would probably rub a lot of fans the wrong way because, that's what some people don't like about the Halloween franchise and why when they did this new one, they kind of dropped all that shit because it was like, oh, there's this cult thing and he's been cursed and he has to kill his bloodline and yada yada, and he won't die until he's fulfilled that mission and whatever, and it would be passed on to the next child. So I'm like, I don't know what you could do to make it work. I tried to rack my brain, but nothing felt right. I mean, maybe it is better to just leave it ambiguous and don't explain why he doesn't come back. But the skeptic in me, I have to know.
I would say, like I said, you're like me. You want to know why, and you're very inquisitive. A lot of people take things at face value today, and they're just like, "Oh, that's how it is. Let it be."
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if I had the time, and I don't know if somebody was paying me to do it, I would come up with something. But yeah, I almost feel like you have to, especially in this day and age, you have to explain.
At this point in the lore, though, there's been so many Jason movies.
Yeah, but like I said, if we're going to reboot it, we have carte blanche to do whatever we want.
You start with a clean slate.
Yeah. But okay. Now, the last thing then. Do we make it clear that there will be a sequel to it by the end? Because some movies, they do that thing where they make it like, okay, for example, the 2018 Halloween movie. Mm-hmm. And sorry, kids, spoilers, because I think we've spoiled some of the shit throughout it. But I figure at this point, if you wanted to go see it, you'd have seen it. But in that they leave it somewhat ambiguous, but not enough to the point where you'd be like, oh, he's coming back again.
Right.
It's kind of like, well, what do you want it to be?
Right.
So, and then in other movies, they make it painfully obvious that they're going to make another one. So do we go the route of the movie is just a standalone thing, we let it live and die by its own merits, and then if we make another one, we make another one? Or do we make it just explicitly apparent, like, the movie's over, they've done away with Jason, quote unquote, killed him, and then by the end he comes back and he kills somebody, or you see his hand reach up from the grave or some shit? Like, do we just flat out say, yes, he's not dead, and we're making another one, or do we just kind of let it end, and then we figure out a way to bring him back the next time?
I kind of want to see it just to end, and then find a way to bring him back if they're ready for a sequel.
Yeah. But I think you got to be careful, too, though, with how you end it. Because
right.
Because that's kind of what the issue we have with Halloween, where it's like, how are you going to do another one after this now?
Sure.
So
I think that the movies where they're not planning on making a sequel, like the Halloween 2018, where it's pretty clear that that's the intention. It seems like, yeah, it's the intention that this is the last one and he's done. Mm-hmm. But I just, like you said, you have to be very careful, because if you set it up to where he's dead, and then in the next year or two you got another one, you're like, well, what the hell? Then you start traipsing back into that cheesy bullshit.
Yeah, because it's like you can't stick a stick of dynamite in his mouth and blow his fucking body up and shit, and then be like, but he's back, and it's like, well, yeah. So like if you're gonna kill him, you'd have to kill him in such a way to where you could plausibly believe, like, yeah, I can see him coming back from that.
Right.
You know, it's like you can't just like blow him to bits and then be like, surprise, Jason 2. And it's like, the fuck? Like, what did he like?
It's not going to be received well.
Yeah, it's like, what is he like, T2 from Terminator and
Right,
shit? And he
right.
just like reforms his body. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. But yeah, no, so I just wanted to play this little game just to figure out like, okay, if we're going to make a reboot, then we need to think this through and figure out, okay, how is this going to work and what are we going to do to make this movie? So yeah, any up and coming writers out there, if you want to help us knock out a script real quick so we can send this to LeBron James and shoot,
Fucking LeBron James.
trying
Like,
to get paid. Shit.
why would anybody assume that LeBron James is gonna
Danny
reboot
McBride
this?
co-wrote the Halloween movie, so
It's true.
James Wan is doing Aquaman.
That's true. That's true. They're venturing out of their comfort zones.
Hey, you know, I don't knock him. Because I get it with him. It's like he's nearing the end of his basketball career, so he's trying to figure out other venues to still be relevant and shit. So he's making these production companies and...
He's trying to be MJ.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's branching out, so I won't knock him for it. But alright, moving on. As some of you may know, I don't know how you haven't heard about this, but the Mega Million jackpot was over $1.5 billion. And someone in South Carolina bought the winning ticket. Now, we don't know if it has been claimed or not, and we may never know because South Carolina is one of the few states where you don't have to publicly, you know, say openly like, hey, I won the Mega Millions and shit. It's like, I would
wouldn't
never
want to.
in my life.
Why?
You don't take no pictures of me. Don't put
Hell
my name
no.
out there.
Be like, ain't nobody finding out. I'm gonna keep going to work.
I know. We'll get there. We'll get there. So my question is, what would you do with over $1.5 billion?
Okay. This is what I'm doing.
All right.
I'm going to secretly buy an island. No, like legit backwood. Well, I want it to be legal.
Sure.
But I'm going to do it with an alias.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, I want a cover, a costume, like, you
Sure.
know.
You gonna come out like V for Vendetta?
No. Like, more low key. More
Okay,
low key than
okay,
that.
sure.
Like a superhero costume, you know.
So Loki? I usually don't make puns.
Oh
Let me
my
have that.
God,
Let me
you're
have
funny.
That. Let me have that.
No, I'm gonna, you know,
She said, "Fuck you." in that
channel
joke.
in my inner Clark Kent here, and I gotta go buy me an island, and I'm going to build a tiki hut on said island with solar panels so that I don't have an electric bill, and a water filtration system on the back side of my little tiki hut so I can filter water from the ocean so I don't have a water bill. I'm going to put an internet bill in my alias name so that nobody knows that it is me. And I'm going to buy a boat to park in front of my little tiki hut.
Okay.
And I'm going to sell jewelry out of my little tiki hut and live on my little island. And to get to that point, I'm going to slowly start dropping shifts at work. Like, I'm not going to just up and quit. I'm not going to be like, fuck y'all, I'm out. I ain't going to do none of that.
Yeah, because I don't believe Michigan is one of the states where you can anonymously claim the money.
No.
I don't know 100% for sure. I should have looked into it, but I don't know 100% for sure.
But I'm just going to slowly start dropping shifts at work. So it's going to take about a month for me to phase everything out. I'm going to pay off all of my bills in Michigan.
Incrementally.
Yes, not all at once.
If you drop it all at once, then yeah.
No.
Start raising eyebrows. Like, where do you get all this money from all of a
Just
sudden?
gonna pay off everything quietly and behind the scenes, start dropping shifts at work, and one day I'm just gonna disappear. Like, everybody's gonna be like, where's DJ Melly Mel? Nope. The important people will know. My mama, my grandma, you. It'll be like, look, see here. I'm out by the end of the month. I'm gone. Don't. You want to call me? I will send you a private boat, but don't.
No, I would make it like, I got, like I went on a trip and then I was abducted and I would change my identity.
See, I'm all for changing my identity. I don't want people to think that I'm abducted.
No, I wouldn't think I'm fucking dead.
No, I just want them to be like, I wonder what happened to her. Oh, I don't know. I don't want a social media. I don't want anything. Like, just put me on an island. Give me some storm insurance. Because Lord knows that the islands get wiped out all the time. So I'm going to have me some good insurance. And then that's it. I'm going to live on my little tiki, or out of my little tiki hut, and I'm going to be good.
See, okay. See, I like where you're going with this, but I think you're thinking too small. Okay. This is what you do. You get a full-on, like, Wakanda force field, like, around your fucking island.
Yes.
So then that way anything ever happens and you're totally good.
Yes.
My thing would be this. Okay. Like, I like where you're going with this. I would quit my job eventually. You know, I would keep doing the podcast and all that shit.
Sure.
I would live every day like nothing was up. Everything's all good. And then one day, you know, like you said, just slowly, incrementally start showing up less to work, less and less over the course of a few months, and then just disappear.
Yep.
I would fake my own death in a horrible car accident.
No.
I would change my identity, get a new alias, and then just go fucking crazy. Like, I mean, fucking crazy. Like, okay, straight up. I would buy a 3-piece suit.
Okay.
Made of nothing but diamonds. Like, top to bottom, it would just be diamonds. Cufflinks, diamonds, a diamond tie, diamond vest.
I can see that
the
for
whole
you.
thing, okay. Then...
See, I just want to be on a beach in my bikini, just me and my dog, and call it good.
Oh, no, I'm doing it big. I'm finna burn out bright and fast, baby. I will be dead within, like, a year, promise you. So, 3-piece diamond suit.
Got
okay.
you. Diamond boxers?
Yeah, I think that'd be a little bit chafy.
A little bit.
Yeah, the suit I can wear like a undershirt and stuff underneath.
Okay.
I'll be fine.
Okay.
I'd be kind of clunky and stiff, but you know I'll make it work. You'd see me shining.
I'll say you sure as hell would sparkle.
From all angles. You would always know me. I would have.
You gonna wear the suit at all times?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Have you a bodyguard to protect you?
Yeah, no, fuck that. No, I'm having, look, if I got over $1 billion, I'm gonna have like drones that just follow me everywhere with like mounted guns on them and shit. And if you fuck with me, they'll just kill you death from above type shit.
Nice. Nice.
I would have a castle made, and I would have in my bedroom, I would have a bed made of nothing but cheesecake.
Ooh.
And I would just lay there and eat until I fucking die.
How would you keep the cheesecake from getting like?
We'll figure all that shit out later. That's not the important part.
Cheesecake only lasts for so long.
It would be a refrigerated bedroom.
You'd be cold.
Sorry, I got my diamond suit on. It's insulated. I'm good.
All right.
And then, last but not least, I would buy out every single mumble rapper's contract, and I would make hip hop great again. All these motherfuckers, like Triple X Tenation, Lil Uzi Vert, all the motherfuckers. I'm buying out all y'all contracts. Y'all done. You will never make a record again. You canceling all your shows. Fuck your fans. I'm done with mumble rap. I am buying that out. Even if I didn't do any of the other stuff, that would be my main goal in life, is to just buy out every mumble rapper's contract and just be done with them. You can do your underground shit all you want to, but I'm sick of hearing this shit on my fucking radio station. No, I'm done with that shit. Get that shit out of my ears.
We need some Run DMC.
Take that shit to SoundCloud and leave it there. Like, I don't want to hear it no more. So, one other thing. I would invest money in technology to teleport me places.
Yes.
Because then I would really be straight. I mean,
Hell
anytime I ever
yeah.
want to be, I'd never be late to anything. I probably still would be late.
Right.
But, because then you're really going to procrastinate. Like, oh, I can just teleport. I'll get up when I'm ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Teleportation device, 3-piece diamond suit, bed made of cheesecake, destroy mumble rap. That's my goals.
See, you're like going flashy.
Oh, hell yeah. Like I said, I would burn bright and fast. I would be like...
Not me. I want to sustain under the radar,
Oh,
and
no.
I want to...
I'm living my best
like,
life.
the most thing that's going to cost me most of my money is going to be my filtration system that filters from the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And because I have to make sure that it doesn't take up too much water, because, I don't want to ruin the ocean or anything.
Sure.
And it's got to filter everything so that it takes salt water to make it drinkable, livable water, and then I can filter it back in through the house or the tiki hut. And then my solar panels, so I don't have my electric bill.
I love how eco-friendly
They're
going
gonna
to
cover my entire roof. And Tesla actually makes panels that are like, I don't know, $64 or something for a 12 by 12 area of solar panel.
Sure.
I don't know the exact dimensions, but you can buy cheap solar panels is what my thing is.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna buy the solar panels so that they don't weigh down my tiki hut, and that's gonna replace my electric bill. I might have a Wi-Fi bill just because, I'd like to connect to the world at some point in time.
See, that's what I'm saying. You keep thinking too small. Why don't you just start your own internet company
and
install all that shit?
No, I don't want to run all that shit.
And then, but no, you don't have to run it. You just sit back and make money off it.
No, I'm good. If I won $1.6 billion, that'd be all the money that I need.
Yeah. But see, you have to reinvest it in something because you still got to pay taxes on that money every year. So if you're not bringing revenue in, you're eventually going to run out of money.
That's where the jewelry comes from.
What are you making? Seashell necklaces?
Yes, I am making puka shells and seashells and whatever else I can make jewelry out of, and taking my trash and make it into jewelry, and that's my revenue right there.
On your private island.
On my island.
With your solar panels and
my Wakanda force.
Yes, yeah, in your Wakanda force field, so yeah.
Solar panels and water filtration and puka shells and Wakanda force field. I'm good. Oh, and I need to have some kind of a swimsuit outlet at my disposal because I'm not going to want to wear the same swimsuit every day.
Sounds fair.
So I got to have
just make it out of your seashell. You can have seashell bra and panties and all that shit. Yeah.
That's going to chafe.
Oh, but I'm supposed to have diamond boxers, though. So
I know. You said that you were having normal boxers because it would chafe. And that's a smart thought. So I would have to have normal underbottoms for the bikini because chafing is not fun.
I got another one. I want that Wonder Woman invisible jet. So I can just I want a jet, a car, and a motorcycle that are all invisible. I would never find them bitches whenever I wanted to go somewhere, but could you imagine how dope it would be to just see me hovering next to you at the red light? Just sitting there like, yeah, it's the real deal. In my 3-piece diamond suit, in my bed of cheesecake.
You be that motherfucker that's blinding me. I got them damn sunglasses on, and you be blinding me. Like, I could see my boat bringing you into the island, and you'd be just standing there in your suit, partying it up, and you blinded my ass.
Just walking like a fucking snowman and shit all stiff. Like, yeah, because I can't bend shit because I got a diamond suit. Yeah.
No.
You know, honestly, what the best answer would be is to just start your own Mega Millions jackpot and then just get dumb motherfuckers to just pay you to try and win some money that you're never going to fucking win.
How did we come up with that? Like, how did we...
A rich dude came up with what I'm telling you right now and was like, I can just get people to just give me money on the chance to win more money.
Right.
And then when no one wins, I just get to keep it.
Right. I guess.
Because honestly, yeah, the jackpot might have been up to 1.6 billion, but I'm sure they've made probably 10 billion off of people
honestly, doesn't it
buying
work
tickets
the
and
more
shit?
People that buy tickets, the more it goes up.
Yeah, the higher jackpot goes up, but they got to make a profit off it. Like, no one's doing this shit for free.
Right.
So, it's like, come on, man. Like, the amount of money that they've taken in to what they paid out is probably astronomically
ridiculous.
Different. So, yeah, start your own Mega Millions jackpot.
Nah, see, I don't want
and then you can just do anything you want.
I don't want to do that much work. I just want to...
That's what you pay other people for.
I forgot one thing that's very, very important.
Okay.
I've got to invest in a sunblock factory.
Okay. Okay.
Because if I'm going to be on a beach.
You just want to be a beach bum is what I'm getting from.
I do. I want to be on a beach bum. However, if I'm going to be a beach bum, I cannot be a lobstered beach bum. I've got to invest in a sunblock factory that just delivers crates of sunblock to me.
Okay.
Like on a monthly subscription. So like the Blue Apron of sunblocks.
See, you may be on something there. I'm swear. So whoever did win that Mega Millions in South Carolina, I hope you're listening to this because we giving you all kind of gems, pearls of wisdom right now.
Fuck, South Carolina, man, I need to call up my uncle, make sure he didn't win the Mega Millions.
Look, I was gonna say when his was like the number you have dialed has been disconnected, like shit.
No wonder that motherfucker ain't been answering me on Facebook.
Yeah, shit. He said, I'm telling you, you fake your death in a car crash and you start a whole new life. Then that way you never have anybody coming out the woodwork going like, oh, I'm your long lost third cousin, second removed step brother, sibling. No, fuck all
I'd be
that.
like, and?
Right.
Your point is?
I'm like, who is it? I can't hear you over all this money. What'd you say?
I'm blinging too loud.
I know, my diamond suit is blinding me. I can't see the phone number. Who is this? That's that new phone. Who this shit? It's sad but true. Like I said, I would burn out so quick. It would be ridiculous. I'd be dead within a year.
See, I want to take mine and make it last the rest of my life so I can just be a beach bum and call it good.
And so much drugs. You don't understand. I'd be shrooms. I'd be trying shit that motherfuckers haven't even came up with yet. I would probably have a small factory of people like making new synthetic drugs for me to try.
Well, damn.
While I laid my bed of cheesecake in my 3-piece diamond suit and destroying the careers of, Lil Uzi Vert and all the other mumble rappers in the world. Yeah. That feels like about where I would go with that. I told you I'd be dead, so.
I'd probably end up with, needing a new liver, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Them coconut drinks, they get you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that or some kind of cancer from the sunblock and shit or all the pores that you're closing up from putting all that shit on all the time.
No.
But yeah, no. So yeah, whoever's in South Carolina, whoever won that Mega Millions, use this knowledge that we dropping on you. Like I'm telling you, I'm giving you great ideas. If nothing else, get the 3-piece diamond suit. If not, I just want to see what it looks like in real life. But all right, moving on. All right, so for our very last thing, since it is Halloween, I wanted to talk about our top 5 horror films. Okay,
yes. Now,
this doesn't have to be the best horror films of all time or anything like that. Just what you personally enjoy as your favorite top 5. Now, Benoit, he couldn't be here for this one for us, but he did send us a list which he changed twice within like 5 minutes of telling us to.
Telling us to hurry up, and then he's like, "Oh no, wait! Oh no, wait! Wait a minute! No! Wait a minute! No!"
So
felt like we were in that movie Wayne's World, where he's like, "Wait a minute! No.
But wait, there's more."
No. So I have to tell you about a meme about that. So I was on Facebook the other day, and it said post, the 31st picture or whatever that's in your phone, and somebody posted a meme of the guy from OxyClean. The Billy, whatever.
Yeah, Billy Mays.
Yeah. And at the top of it said, when you just put the tip in and she already starts to moan. And then it had the guy and he was like, but wait, there's more. I thought she'd get a kick out of that.
That was good.
I thought it was
That was
hilarious.
good. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen that yet. So Benoit in his but wait, there's more list. This is his breakdown, and I think this is in this particular order. Number 5, The Shining. Number 4, the original Friday the 13th, which I was shocked that he picked this.
Yeah, because he's not a horror movie guy.
Yeah, but he did not like Jason X, which no one should like that movie, or Friday the 13th Part 7. So I was surprised he picked the original Friday the 13th. I was like, okay. And number 3 was the original Alien.
Mm-hmm.
Good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is Get Out, which I'm like, that person who said that was the worst horror movie mainstream when I was like, oh, how dare you?
Right? I know. That was the same thought process I had. Like
Mm-hmm.
I said, T-Money and I watched it on the couch one night, and I'm like, dude,
That's
love
a good
this
movie. Like I said, it may not be the best horror movie ever, or you may not love the shit, but it's still a good fucking movie. I mean, at least it ain't the worst. Like,
No.
I'm like, you need to watch more horror movies because that.
It's
ooh,
not Evil Dead 2.
Damn, shots fired.
Sorry,
Trish
guys.
and Shauna.
sorry, 2 girls on a bench.
And then his number 1 was Knocked Up. And he explained, what? Because it was a one night stand that turned into just a.
It essentially turned into the title of the movie. It's a
Yeah.
one night stand where you knock the chick up, and then that's
Now you're
your
dead.
horrible.
Yeah, 2 people who don't really like each other, don't really get along, come from like 2 different worlds, and now you're stuck for, being together forever to some degree because you have a kid together. But by the end of the movie, though, they seem to be a happy thing and have worked it out, right?
I think
it's been a while
so.
since I've seen that.
Yeah, I think so. But my thought is if 1, she didn't want the baby with this guy, and 2, he didn't want the baby with this girl, get rid of the baby. There are plenty of
Damn!
No.
dark
Not as dark as it seems. Hold on. There are plenty of people that
you can hear her backpedaling as she
My
says.
God. There are plenty of people that would love to adopt a baby. So there is no reason that these 2 people that hate each other have to raise a baby that they didn't want, particularly in the first place.
I think her thing was more so she just didn't want a baby with him.
Maybe.
More so that she didn't want a baby.
Maybe you should not get drunk and have sex without a condom.
No, or not have sex with Seth Rogen.
Yeah,
that's probably
that
the
could
better
be.
of the ideas.
Yeah.
But okay, so what's yours? I'll let you go ahead and go first.
Oh, well, I always go first. Why don't you go first? Or do you got more to say about your...
No, I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
I ramble.
You'll be all right.
And I'm like, well, I figure I give you the opportunity to go first. Okay.
No.
All right. So
I always go first.
My top 5, and this could change, but I don't care enough to try and keep switching it back and forth. Plus, and mine are in no particular order. These are just 5. Like,
Sure.
It's not like this is the best at the end or whatever.
Sure.
But okay. So, The Exorcist,
Okay.
the original Exorcist.
Okay.
It Follows.
I think
Never
I've
seen
heard of
that
that one. Yeah.
Okay. Basically, It Follows is like if STDs were haunting you.
Oh.
Pretty
all right,
much.
all
No,
right.
no bullshit. Because basically, there's this demonic force that follows you, and it can take on the looks of different people each time it comes after you, and even like people you know. And it's passed from person to person from having sex.
Oh. Okay.
So it kind of takes the trope of if you have sex in a horror movie, you die, and literally goes if you fuck and you're cursed with this thing that keeps coming after you until it kills you, until you fuck someone else and pass it on to them. So the movie starts off with this guy bangs this girl in the backseat of his car, and then he like ties her to this wheelchair, and he explains to her what's happening, and he like puts her up in his thing. He's like, you see that thing walking towards it? He's like, you have this now. He's like, so you got to pass it on to somebody else before it gets to you or it'll kill you. And yeah. And you can pass it back to the same person or whatever. It's crazy. But anyway, it's a pretty good movie. You should watch it.
I vaguely remember that movie.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
Not
good.
that I think that I've actually seen it, but I do remember seeing like a trailer or something for it and be like, oh, well, that's interesting.
It's a weird concept, but I enjoy it.
It's I kind of like the concept though.
My next one, the Blair Witch Project.
Okay.
Now, you was talking all that shit earlier about the Blair Witch, and every time you said it, I winced, and I was like,
I told you, it's not that the Blair Witch Project is a bad movie. I just don't personally like the shaky camera thing.
No, I
It
just
makes
think you
me
think it's a bad
sick
movie.
to my stomach. No, I really don't. If it didn't have that, I mean, I could sit and watch it multiple times.
Okay. It's okay to be wrong. It's all right. You can. All right. My next one is the original Saw.
Okay.
It's funny because the Saw movies get so much shit because they're so played out at this point, but
Sure.
I think the first one was something different enough
Yeah.
to where I was like, I've never seen anything like this before, and I'm like, I like the concept of this, and especially the twist by the end, because once you've seen the first one, then they did like a M. Night Shyamalan, and they had to put a twist at the end of every Saw movie after that, which I was like, I don't think that's what made the movie. It was just the concept of the movie that this guy was. Saw is basically like if Batman went fucking crazy, or if like Riddler, or if like the Riddler had his own movie where it's just like he's gonna exact justice on these people who've done wrong shit in their lives.
The Riddler was dark and sinister.
Yeah, or no, just if the Riddler wasn't such a goofy ass fucking anyway.
I can dig it though.
But yeah, it's like,
All
it's like you take these people who've done some bad shit, and it's like, hey, if you, in order to find some kind of redemption in your life, I'm going to do something that's going to make you have to go and, survive this thing so you appreciate life more and you become a better person.
Right.
Because of it, hopefully. And then my last one is the original Halloween.
Okay. I kind of saw that one coming.
Yeah, not the 2018 Halloween, but no, Michael Myers is one of the original slashers, and I've loved that movie ever since I was a kid. I had it on VHS, and I used to watch Halloween, not only every Halloween, but just...
religiously?
Yeah, pretty much. 89 Batman and Halloween were on, like, constant rotation in my, like, video library. So,
I got you.
Yeah, that's my 5.
Okay. I don't think mine are in any particular order.
Mm-hmm.
They just happen to be the way that I thought about them.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually harder for me. This was actually harder for me than trying to figure out Halloween movies that were bad.
Okay.
Or what was the other thing that we just talked about earlier that we listed out? I don't remember. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, this was actually the Mega Millions thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like,
what would you do with the $1
yeah.
billion?
Mm-hmm. Like that, I knew immediately,
Mm-hmm.
and this I had to think about.
Sure.
So
Okay.
these are my 5, not in any particular order. Final Destination 2.
Ooh, the second one and not the first one.
I did like the first one.
Okay.
However,
Mm-hmm.
what got it for me to be the second one and not the first is when dude's coming down the fire escape and he slips on the spaghetti that he fell. And the fucking fire escape ladder goes through his eye.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That
I haven't
won
seen
it.
that one in a while, but I remember that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, in the first one, when Sean William Scott gets cut up by the piece of train metal,
Yeah.
that was pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
But dude getting the ladder through his eye, it did it for me. So part 2, Final Destination.
Okay.
Oddly enough, some of the last Final Destinations, like 4 and 5, those were just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, because at that point, they were just... I did like... I don't know if it was the last one that came out, but whatever one that finally tied it back to the first movie...
that was the last,
final.
final.
By the end, the kids that the shit was happening to get on the plane. That's in the first movie.
Right.
So it was kind of like this shit was happening before them.
Right. They're kind of prequels.
Yeah, it's kind of a prequel. It's a
like
requel.
a loop prequels, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Chucky. So Child's Play, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
This one was another one that I had to really sit and think about because I know I shit on the Seed of Chucky earlier, but I really do enjoy all of the Chucky movies, on the exception for The Curse of Chucky, the most recent one that had come out.
I didn't see that one either.
That one was just straight garbage, but I mean, the Seed of Chucky wasn't much better, but it was funny, and I kind of enjoyed that one. Blade, it's not a slasher per se, but it is considered a horror thriller.
Is it?
It is. The first one is.
Okay.
So yeah, Blade.
Yeah, Blade Trinity is just...
I like Blade Trinity.
I like Ryan Reynolds in Blade Trinity, but I don't like that movie. They turned Dracula into like this Euro trash, like my shirt's half unbuttoned, and I'm like walking through the streets of New York, and I'm just like, that's Dracula? Okay. Alright.
I like Blade Trinity.
And then he turns into like a demon thing from like a Devil May Cry game, and I was just like, okay. But, sorry, continue.
So that's 3.
Mm-hmm.
My 4th one is Darkness Falls.
Oh, what's that one?
That's where the kid... There's a legend of the Tooth Fairy, and if you see the Tooth Fairy, then she kills you. So, like, you're supposed to be sleeping when the Tooth Fairy comes.
Mm.
And if you are not sleeping and you open your eyes and look at the Tooth Fairy, then she kills you. And so this kid spends...
Kind of like a Bloody Mary type shit?
Kinda.
Or
and
Candyman, almost-ish?
Well, not really, I guess. Anyways, this kid spends his whole life afraid of the dark. Because he has seen the Tooth Fairy, and so he spends his life with flashlights and medications and in and out of mental hospitals. And then there's another kid that sees the Tooth Fairy in the same small town where this kid lived, and the Tooth Fairy killed his mom, and they thought that he killed his mom, and so he has to go back and he has to help this other little kid get over the fear of the Tooth Fairy.
I like the concept of like taking like these like fairy tales that are supposed to be like good things and then like turning it sinister.
Right.
I like
They kind of they explain in the beginning that the origin of the Tooth Fairy was this lady in a village, and she would she'd give all the kids like candy and snacks, and she's like the village happy old lady.
Is she a witch though, secretly or something?
Well, they thought that she was, and
so they burn her.
They
as a
ended
witch?
up burning
Okay.
her, and so she gets like this. Her face is all burnt, and she doesn't like anybody to see her face, and that's how it starts.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you haven't seen it, I like it, fairly decent.
I'd hope so. It's in your top 5.
They actually do a really good job of having the Tooth Fairy. You see her more toward like the beginning and right at the end. So.
Sure.
And then my 5th one that I have is kind of interesting.
Okay.
So let's see.
Are you gonna pull a knocked up on us? Or
No, it's nothing stupid like that.
Damn, shots fired.
Sorry, Benoit, but come on now. As a woman who made it through college, that's not something that I ever feared. I had Sinister on there. That was a good set of series, but I took that one off and replaced it with one that I can't think of at the moment. It was
Annabelle?
Jeepers Creepers.
A Jeepers Creepers. Oh,
Jeepers Creepers.
Okay, it's funny. There's a podcast out there, I think Cinematically Correct just did a review on Jeepers Creepers, or they will be doing one,
Okay.
I think. So yeah.
Yep,
This is
Jeepers.
the second time I've seen this week. Yeah,
Jeepers
I heard about
Creepers outweighed Sinister because it's Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers.
And the
where'd you
first
get those
one over the
peepers?
second one, because even though the second one you see the creeper more,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of see his face and you see everything about him more.
Did they actually call him that in the movie?
The creeper, yeah.
So who's Jeeper? That was another bad joke. Go ahead. You know, it's rhetorical. It's
I'm
not
done
meant
with you.
I know.
I get that it was rhetorical.
Now, see,
I'm
when
done
you
with
make puns, I'm supposed to just sit here and accept the shit. When I do it, it's like, cancel the podcast. I'm done with this shit. But go ahead. You see the creeper more.
you just tend to make puns like T-Money does, and it just is at a time when I'm excited about something.
Just
And
like,
so you, like, shoot me down. It's cool, though.
like just peed my cereal.
Peed in my Fruit Loops.
Oh, God. Don't bring up Fruit Loops ever again. I used to like that cereal, too.
Anyways,
I'll never eat it
Jeepers
again.
Creepers is probably my other one. Not probably. The Jeepers Creepers is my other favorite one.
Okay.
I enjoyed the first one. You've got Justin Long in there, and he's like this scared little kid with a tramp stamp tattoo on the front of it. But you get more of the story. So
it was something unique and original at that time. You know, it wasn't something off a pre-existing horror franchise they brought back. That was like that window of time where they were trying to do new stuff with horror and wasn't like just kind of going back into the bag and going like, hey, this used to work. Yeah, let's just redo this.
Yeah. I mean, Darkness Falls and Jeepers Creepers, they're kind of from around the same early 2000s, that era of horror, scary, suspenseful kind of thing.
Sure.
And they don't necessarily take things that you've seen a million times.
Sure.
And there's not a million sequels to them. I think Jeepers Creepers has 2 or 3. There's 3 total, 4 total.
I think 3, yeah, 3.
3 or 4. It's not completely drawn out crazy.
Okay.
Whereas Darkness Falls, I think there's 2 of them, and the second one is garbage.
I want to throw out an honorable mention out there. The Babadook. That one's a pretty good one too. It didn't quite make it into my top 5, but the Babadook is a pretty good one.
Oculus wasn't bad. I didn't say it was a favorite. I just said it wasn't bad.
I'm just trying to think and remember how I felt about that movie. I was with it all the way until the end when it's like she's pretty much like yelling at a mirror, and I'm just like, I know it's like evil, but this looks stupid. I couldn't help it. I was just like,
I like the part where she bites into the light bulb and she thinks it's an apple.
Yeah, there was some pretty, like, fucked up psychological shit in that movie. But like I said, it just, by the end, where she's like, oh, we beat you, and all this other shit, and I'm just like,
no, you didn't.
Yeah, and then, I could call the end of that movie from, like, the beginning. I was like, the shit's gonna backfire, and one of them are gonna die with this whole, like, Rube Goldberg machine that they've built to kill it. And I'm just like, just fucking shoot the mirror. Like, why do you got all this shit set up? And it's like, and then the thing is going to fall. And we're going to have an Acme weight anvil that's going to slam into it.
They had
the
like, Coyote Diet design this.
Pretty much, yeah. I was like, why do all that shit? Just break the fucking mirror. Like, I don't know. They had to prove that it was evil and shit. It's like, yeah, but I don't give a fuck what you catch on camera. No court of law is going to be like, you know what? You're right. Your father didn't kill your mother or whatever. Right. We're going to let him out of prison.
Right.
Like, they're just going to be like, oh, that's weird. It's like, okay, you still serving this time.
Okay, and your point is. Yeah. So yeah, those are my 5.
Nice. So yeah, kids, if you want to go ahead and submit your top 5 horror movies, or if you want to dispute the ones that we chose for ours, go ahead. I would love to see the responses to this, because I feel like some of these are going to be a little bit divisive.
I'm sure.
I think some people are not going to be happy with some of the choices. And
I'm also sure of that.
Yeah, because I'm a little bit worried about my Blair Witch Project and Saw. The other ones, I think people will pretty much agree with.
Saw was one of my other ones that I had on there, and I was like, I like all the Saw movies.
Sure.
So it was hard for me to pick one, and so it made it on the list for like 2 seconds, and then I had to start thinking real hard about all the horror movies that I've actually seen. And so a couple of them they jumped around, but Saw would have been my number 6. And I can't just pick one. So
yeah, anytime you have to
Saw
do
movies would be my number 6 slot.
Anytime you have to do like a top anything list for anything, it's always difficult, because there's always so much shit that you can't think of at the moment.
Right.
And you're going to wake up tomorrow and be like, damn, I should have said this movie, or damn, I should have said that movie, or I should have switched it with this one or whatever, but it is what it is.
Right.
That is it for the show, kids. Remember, you can always find us at our home at onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com, or you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. Make sure to show us some love, so go ahead and like, subscribe, rate, follow, review, and all that shit.
And if you have any questions that you want us to answer, any comments, concerns, criticisms, you just want to say hi, you can always email us at officialOGLFG@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. We're on Facebook, Reddit, Pinterest, Instagram. Oh, please be sure to check out our Instagram. We are Instagramming our Halloween pictures for the night, so make sure you check that out and give us a thumbs up or smiley or however.
Heart, I think.
A heart. Yay. Yeah. Heart us on Instagram. All you have to do is search for One Giant Leap for Geeks. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye.